Jack Dalton is on his way to the British Parliament.
I'm here in London at the Parliament for the Global Child Prodigy Award. I'm so excited to be here, and we're right here, right in front of Big Ben, my friend. So I'm super excited for tonight to meet some of the other award recipients.
He's here to receive an award.
This year I was named a Global Child Prodigy Award winner, and it's at the Royal Parliament, and getting to meet the other very impressive youth who are also making a difference in different fields in music, conservation, social justice.
Jack arrived in London from Manchester, New Hampshire. At 15 years old, he's too young to drive, so his mother's here with him.
I am a proud mom. Well, it's funny, people will say that when it comes to, oh, he won this award or that award. And the awards really are ways to empower him and to amplify his platform, really, is to get his word out in different areas and with different people. But in reality, the thing that makes us proud about Jack is who he is on the daily.
My dog loves kayaking. Kayaking is a great way in transportation.
Ever since I was little, I've always had a dog in my house, and I think that really contributed to my love for animals.
But it was one animal that caught Jack's eye, and that's when something remarkable began.
I mean, the definitive moment where I really remember falling in love with orangutans was when I was 8 years old. My family, we traveled the country at the time for my father's work as a nurse. And one of the places that we lived was Memphis, Tennessee. And we would always visit the Memphis Zoo. And in particular, the orangutans caught my eye. And I think that was because of their red hair. And my red hair, I always went back to that. But as I observed them more, I realized how alike orangutans really were to us humans. Their mannerisms, they have a very close relationship with their mothers.
It's very funny because the visit to the zoo was really the biggest ripple of our entire lives. My husband and my son included, because our lives have completely shifted.
Jack, what you doing?
Watch this home video and you'll get a sense of how Jack, at an early age, took on challenges.
You're doing a great job. Do you like being on a boat?
Hey, I will.
Okay, you do it.
Let Daddy help you, okay?
When we would travel nurse for my husband's job, we would travel around the country, and wherever we would stay, Jack, if parents or family, friends would come visit, Jack would create slideshows. He's 8 years old, and, welcome to Tennessee.
The day at the Memphis Zoo ignited something in Jack and set him on a course to learn more about the great ape. He asked to meet with the zookeeper.
Then I found out they were critically endangered. That's a problem. What's the solution? How am I gonna help them? What can I, a little, 8-year-old kid living in Idaho at the time, what can I do to help orangutans living all the way across the world in Indonesia? And I think really, I spoke with the zookeeper, Lexi Yang. She took care of the orangutans. She was the one who actually taught me about palm oil and deforestation. And she said, okay, write letters to companies telling them about how their palm oil usage was harming orangutans. And I did.
Dad's coming to join the party.
Dad is coming to join.
That's where Lexi put together this entire Dr. Seuss themed birthday party and taught Jack and myself, because I had never known about palm oil and what it was doing. And Jack basically said, I have to do something about this, Mom.
When they put peanut butter on the pages of the book.
So the first thing I did was I wrote letters to companies telling them about how palm oil and deforestation were causing orangutans to become critically endangered.
Hi, my name is Jack. I'm the Kid Conservationist.
And from there, I also started a YouTube channel called Kid Conservationist.
I'm here today at the Memphis Zoo.
And I talked about orangutans.
So I just got to go in and spread the enrichment toys and the foods for the orangutan.
And I said, okay, I'm going to start spreading awareness of people in this fun, educational way to hopefully get people to fall in love with our world. I'm Jack. I wrote this book. Isn't that cool? Every copy plants a tree. It's a fun story about orangutans and the animals that surround them.
We caught up with Jack and his parents in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
That's cool.
This is Market Square Day. Jack rented this space to raise awareness about conservation and sell his book.
So this is my book, Kuan the Orangutan Lost in the Rainforest. I love seeing the kids and getting them books, you know. It's all about getting kids to fall in love with orangutans, getting them to love reading and to love our world just as much. So hopefully I'm sharing my passion with them. And of course, because every book plants a tree, it's directly helping the rainforest.
He wrote the story when he was 10 years old.
And for every copy sold, a tree is planted directly in the rainforest. So the goal is not only to spread education and literacy locally to students and to kids, but also to directly help orangutans in the rainforest. So the books are $12, but today I'm selling them with the stuffy for $20.
Jack's efforts are paying off. One book sold means one more tree is planted.
It was 1 year ago when I first learned about orangutans and palm oil.
Another story shared might mean another changed mind.
There's the big changes, like, you know, I've helped to raise over $40,000 for orangutan conservation, animal rehabilitation, rainforest restoration. Over 10,000 trees have been planted in the Indonesian rainforest, and the numbers are there. Over 1 million views on YouTube, but even on small day-to-day changes, you know, I see friends, family members, instead of using plastic toothbrushes, they'll switch to bamboo toothbrushes and palm oil-free toothpaste or palm oil-free alternatives to their food. And seeing those everyday actions, even the ones that seem little, those are the ones that are going to add up and really make a huge difference over time. A T-Rex!
Dad's in Portsmouth today, ready and willing to help with the cause.
This is my role. This is part of being the supportive dad. Making a bit of a fool of yourself, but it's fun. The kids like it. He really has a way with, especially the kids that come through the booth. They really enjoy his presence and interaction. He gets them very excited about orangutans and how they can support them. So, yeah.
A duck five.
Bye. Can I have my phone?
Yes, we don't.
Did you grow up like this?
No, who grows up like this? Some people do, but we just try to be ultra supportive of them. We kind of said, if this is something you want to do, let's treat it almost like a sport. What do you do with sports? You practice, you have your game days like today. So we've just really dedicated a lot of time and effort into it like you would any other hobby you would in life. And it's really blossomed to something beyond what we thought was going to happen.
Which takes us back to London, where the story began. This award is one of many that sit in Jack's home. He says they provide him with a sense of hope, that the recognition leads to solutions from the rainforest to public schools throughout New Hampshire.
I think it's so fun to see people get inspired and learn about these animals, and it really can be so impactful. Like, there was this school I went to a couple of weeks ago in Manchester, my hometown, and I spoke to them about, you know, local animals, orangutans, and I told them about some ways they can help, and one of the ways I said was recycling. And these kids were so inspired, they realized, hey, we don't have a recycling program at our school. So what they did was they reached out to the mayor of Manchester. They said, hey, we don't have recycling at our school. And the mayor was so impressed by these kids wanting to reach out and their initiative. And he said, I'm actually going to sponsor your recycling program. So now that school has recycling.
He's just doing what he loves to do and following his passions. And I wish that all kids would have that opportunity, because when we empower the youth, this is what can happen. You look awesome up there. No matter what Jack decides to do in his life, we know that he's going to continue to inspire and educate others. So I would say that's what really makes us proud, and all the other stuff is just extra.
You know, it didn't start like this. I didn't set out to become this animal activist who wins all these awards. I was just a kid. who loved orangutans and who loved making YouTube videos and writing and presenting. The biggest thing is to just follow your passions, do what you love, and together we can make the world a better place.